Alright, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another game review. Now, I did, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It seems like people are kind of liking that video because, they're kind of liking it because, it's getting a bit of views. It's not getting a ton of views, but it is getting, quite a bit of views compared to my other videos. I know it was a little bit longer. I do want to apologize for that. Also, I want to clarify the thumbnail in that video. It's actually messed up right now. I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted it to. So I'll probably try to figure that out in the future. Right now, it'll be just that thumbnail because I want a thumbnail in the video, to make it look different. I actually don't think I have it in a playlist because I wasn't able to find the playlist. I'm pretty sure I have a playlist for these reviews, but because I reviewed the original Luigi's Mansion game, last year, so I actually do plan on doing the sequel later this month. I actually was going to do it next because I was going to try to spread them out a little bit, but then I realized I haven't completed Luigi's Mansion 3 yet because of some issues, that I was dealing with the phone stand and all that, which I got that thing kind of straightened out, but I still don't have access to my game right now to play it. Also, not just that, but I also have a, I also have, I don't have, I also, there are other games I want to kind of talk about maybe in the future, like the remake on the 3DS, and then also the arcade one, which I played a little bit of that, and, Chuck E. Cheese, out of all places, that Chuck E. Cheese had it, which is kind of interesting, and the game was super loud, so I kind of I got some footage in there and my reaction, but you could barely hear me playing, but I did record some of my reactions to the game, because I was holding the phone while I was doing it, but it was so loud in there, and I couldn't turn it down, during the day, so, it was just crazy, but I didn't technically play it long enough to, review it, so I figured, let's just get the new Super Mario Bros. Games out, because after this, we got, 2 more, because I'm not reviewing the Switch one right now. I'm going to review that one later, because down the road I'll probably go through the entire Switch catalog and talk about the games, and maybe compare the remakes to the original, because the Switch has so many of them, But, yeah, I'm surprised they actually have not they have not brought these games back, as a deluxe or something like that on the Switch. They have the Wii U one on the Switch, but, Nintendo also has been releasing, Dark Moon on the Switch too, and all. It's crazy. It is really crazy. But yeah, before I get any further, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'm actually really excited to review this game, because, like I said, the other one did well, and, like I said, I'm going to apologize for it being kind of long. I'm going to try to make this one shorter, but I do have a lot to say in this one, so I don't know. But I also need to get to bed here pretty soon, so I'm kind of tired. I'm wore out, so we'll see what I'll do here. Also, if the sound effects sound a little bit different, I'm actually using my 3DS, because, my DSi, I cannot, I don't know where the heck, the DSi is upstairs, and I kind of want to get this out of the way, because I actually have other reviews planned this month. So I figured I'd do that, but it took forever to find my, cards. So, yeah. But, anywho, with all that said, let's go ahead and actually talk about New Super Mario Bros. 2. First off, I actually didn't write this on the notes, because, But, I'm gonna go ahead and get my notes here, because I got lots to say about this game, lots to say. And I actually realized I forgot to, show off the notes, I was writing down the last time, so I'll show them off if I can remember this time. I also forgot something else I'll bring up in this video, too, that I didn't talk about in the Wii version, so this game for some reason is called New Super Mario Bros. 2, even though it is the third game in the series. I have absolutely no reason, I don't know why the hell they called it that. I'm guessing because it's a sequel technically to the DS one, because it does have some elements from the DS one, from the DS, they brought back the Mega Mushroom. That's right, the Mega Mushroom is back. And, unfortunately, they do not have the power-up houses. That was only in the DS, which I really hate. I kind of wish they, brought back that, but they didn't bring that back for some stupid reason. I don't know why, I don't know why they couldn't bring that back. I guess maybe it'd make the levels kind of super easy, but I'm like, they also have an invincible Tanuki suit in this, there too, so I don't understand why that, which I'll talk about the power-ups in a second, because there are some things I have to say about that too. But yeah, for some reason it's called New Super Mario Bros. 2 instead of New Super Mario Bros. 3DS or something, and I'm guessing again because maybe it's a nod to the original. It's a nod to the original game, Basically, there are like in this one, you could actually, once again, buy things with the star coins, where, like, the Wii one, you'll use them for hints at the Peach's Castle. Here, you actually can use them throughout the entire game. You can even use them to unlock the secret world. Which is actually really crazy. You can actually, do all that. It's kind of crazy and all that, and whatnot, and just like the DS one, you also have a thing where you can you play as 2-player, where the Wii you can play as 4-player. Which I'm sure a lot of siblings and all have killed each other over killing each other on a game. Yeah, having fun stories with that, killing your partners and all that, I'm sure that probably caused a bunch of fighting and all that, Yeah, this one, that's the thing, that they brought back the Mega Mushroom, which the reason why I don't think I brought up the reason why I think it was cut in the way, I say the word I think, because I'm not sure if this was confirmed by the people who made the game or not. But the Mega Mushroom, I believe, was cut from the Wii version because, trying to play with multiple players and then having the Mega Mushroom, it would make it a little bit more difficult. But I'm like, they could have, like, made the characters automatically go to a bubble. Because, that happens anyway when you go off screen. Like, it's so easy at times to go off screen in that game. Especially the auto-scroller levels, it can be very easy to go off screen. But, yeah, that's kind of, we have that, the Mega Mushroom and all that. They could have brought back the Mega Mushroom, and, they didn't really, do that and all that, and so it is nice to see that here. Weirdly enough, you have to use a fire flower to access it. It's also not in any boxes in this game. There's 3 locations, and all of them, involve, you doing that, which is kind of weird a way to access it. Because you can also, use it to get star powers or 1-ups in the game. It's very weird with those cannons, what they can and can't do. I kind of like the idea with them. I kind of do. I don't think they really return, though. I believe after this game, I think they're gone. Unless they return in Mario Wonder, I don't think they really return, though, because they were kind of a thing in this game where you shoot fireballs and all that. Like, people don't really talk about that, but I think that's kind of cool. You can shoot fireballs and get random stuff. It's kind of like mystery boxes, but a little bit different. Sometimes they're very easy, sometimes they're not, depending on, the level, but most of the time, it's pretty easy to get the power-ups, which make it a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, it's not too bad. But yeah, that's the thing, though. Like I said, there is a lot of, nods to, like, the DS one and all with that kind of stuff. However, there's also nods to the Wii one, because, with it being the third game in the series, that's kind of where that comes in, too. Unfortunately, though, this is kind of where I start having some gripes at the game. I started having gripes at the game. But I will say that, I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to get this out of the way. I think this game is actually, I think it's definitely overhated. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Yep, you heard me right. This game is overhated. Yeah, I know, people are really not gonna like me for this, but, yeah, I think it's I think it's definitely, I should have said this at the beginning, but I was talking about the title and all that, but, yeah, I do think, in some cases, I do think people hate on this game a little too much, but I'll talk about that stuff in a second, because, like the Wii one, I told you guys I'm writing notes down, so I'm writing some notes down, and, yeah, basically, the Wii game, this game, borrows stuff from the Wii one, too, and this is where I start kind of hating the game a little bit, because what they do is they bring back the Koopalings. Now, it was really fun seeing them, in the, in the Wii, the Wii game. It was very fun to see them there, because they haven't, they've been gone for so long. It was really nice to see that they came back. But then we see them again in this game, and, now you could say, well, maybe they're, they are, trying to mix all the elements together, which, would be fine. My problem is, though, I don't know, I don't really care for them in this game that much. I would have liked to have custom bosses, like the DS one. And honestly, their fights kind of suck in this game. They kind of suck. The reason why I say kind of, because a couple of them are actually not bad. Like, Lugway's, his fight with the chains and all that's really fun, and then Lenny's, fight, we have, fighting him on the ball and all that, that's fun. But then we have, Roy's, and, Morton's fights, which really suck, because Roy, he's the guy with the sunglass, or the, Koopaling with the sunglasses, or, I don't know if they're glasses or sunglasses, but I really do like his design, but he's so easy, like, you jump on him a few times, and then he's out, but he doesn't really do anything. He tries to run you into the wall, but he's not fast enough so you can easily dodge him. He does shoot some magic at you, and the walls do get closer and closer to, going in and all that, but then, you can take him out very easily. And then, Morton, he's the, the rock star. He looks like he's from Kiss. I'm not gonna lie, I wonder if he secretly, has a band with Kiss. Maybe when he's not kidnapping Princess Peach, maybe he works with Kiss. I don't know. It's possible, who knows what their secret lives are, especially since they've been gone for, so long. Maybe they needed some extra cash or money, and maybe they were like, you know what, let's go ahead and, work for Bowser and all that again, our dad, or possibly our dad, because again, Nintendo says they're not his kids, but they're adopted, but which, again, means they are his kids, even if they're adopted. I don't know, the whole thing is so confusing, I don't know, but yeah, basically, his fight is basically, he will, which I will say can be creative, like he stands on a tall platform, and then uses magic to spawn spike balls. But then he just spawns on top of the very top. And it just sucks because it's literally the freaking, like, because he spawns in the same spot so you know where to hit him. These fights are just so easy. Like, they're too easy. Like, I don't mind there being easiness, but it's too easy. And I mean, yeah, New Super Mario Bros. Technically had that too, and then even the Wii had a few boss fights that were very easy. But for the most part, they were very creative, and I gotta say, like the Goomba boss was super easy and kind of stupid to fight. Like, I mean, yeah, it's fun to squish on his head, but it is very easy to take him out, and then and all that. And even the Bowser fights in that game were very easy. You could just jump over him so easily, but they even give you a platform in the first level, but, still, but they were, again, still creative. Here, it's also the fact that they rip off some of the fights, too. Like, Wendy's fight is pretty much a rip-off, of the Wii one. She uses, instead of, Kamek, or on the Magic Koopa, or I think it's called Kamek. I kind of wish I don't know if I brought this up when I was reviewing that game, but I kind of wish they gave Kamek a different design instead of a normal Magic Koopa. Maybe give him, him or her, because it's got her voice, but I think people are saying it's a male. Even the Wikipedia says it's a male, so, but they could give the Magic Koopas, different designs, like, because if it's a boss fight, I feel like, I mean, to be fair, it's the only one in the game, but, I don't know, I think that would make it the design a little bit more interesting. Maybe you could give it some different shades or something, I don't know, make the Magic Koopa look a little bit, more unique. I don't know, but they actually, that boss is not return in this game. Neither does Bowser Jr. This is actually the only New Super Mario Bros. Game. By the way, Bowser Jr. is not in the game, which is very weird. I'm surprised they didn't put him in the game, honestly. I guess they probably didn't have room for him, because they did bring back the Reznors, which, I'm gonna say, yeah, they are freaking a joke to take out. I will say, though, I do like seeing them return from Super Mario World, because I was like, when I saw them in there, I was like, oh my god, these guys are back, and, because it kind of caught me off guard, because they disappeared for so long, too, and then they brought them back, just to see them on this giant Ferris wheel thing, but of course, they're very easy to take out. I don't remember in Super Mario World if they're easy to take out, too, but they're very slow and barely shoot fire. But they do change their arena up a little bit. But I would say it's kind of like Bowser Jr. It's very easy, probably definitely one of the weaker. I would say I would probably put it under the GS1 when it comes to mid-bosses. I don't know if I would say if it's better than the Wii one or not. I don't know, because the Wii one I think would say it's probably better, because they actually do different stuff with it, but I don't know, compared to the Bowser Jr. fights, I don't know, but that's the thing, though, they're very easy. I think if they weren't so easy, I think I probably would say they'd be really good, but again, and that's kind of the problem with the boss fights. They are a little bit easier. Also, another one that was ripped off was Iggy. This one, though, they actually did change it. But yeah, I kind of hate that they brought back the chain chomp, even though we saw it in the, in the Wii game. They brought back the chain chomp. However, in this one, he actually goes off screen. So he can actually spawn in anywhere, which makes me want to know. I want to know why they couldn't do that with Morton. Like, why couldn't Morton? Because Morton spawns in a pipe, a random pipe that comes out. So how come they couldn't make that a thing too? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, the bosses are definitely very weak in this game. Some of them are fun. Like I said, some of them are fun. But even the final Bowser fight, is pretty much a rip-off of the Wii one. Although this one, you actually go upwards instead of going downwards. That one, you have to actually avoid obstacles. Like, well, Bowser's fire, but you also have a lot more platforming to land on. Here you just stand, like it's like an auto scroller. So they turned it into an auto scroller. So they did something a little bit different with it, but I don't really care for the boss fight because it's kind of about the same. And they even did a Dry Bowser version of it, which is basically, yeah, they brought back Dry Bowser too, and it's for this fight, it's basically kind of the same thing. They could, I mean, they would have liked if they could have like maybe did a little bit of different stuff with them. I mean, they made it a little bit more difficult with the fight, but they did basically the same thing. It just doesn't seem like it's as I don't know. It's definitely not as memorable as the Wii one. I'm still better than the DS one. I guess except for the final fight. The final fight was a little bit more difficult and all that, and made it a lot more fun. But yeah, I kind of wish they did a little more with his fight. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't like that they kind of just ripped off pretty much the same thing twice with that. With the Bowser fight. But I mean, them changing the fight into an auto scroller, at least it was different. But yeah, the bosses themselves are not the greatest. I think I put them on there. I was gonna say, oh yeah, this is something too I want to point out. Well, I didn't talk about this, but I didn't put this down actually. But the power-ups in this game, honestly, the power-ups, I don't know. A lot of people are saying they don't really care for them in this game. I don't know. I kind of like the power-ups in this game. I kind of like them. I really like the gold flower. I do like the gold flower. It's a very unique power-up. Yeah, that's the new one, which people are complaining about it being the newer one. Like, it's a new power-up, and it's just very broken. And all that, which, I mean, yeah, it can, it's very broken and all that, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that, but it's still a really interesting power-up. But yeah, it's basically kind of a gimmick power-up. I mean, people are kind of hoping that there was another power-up in the game, which, yeah, I think I kind of agree. I kind of would like to have maybe seen a little bit something different as well, but I don't know. But I mean, they brought back the Raccoon Mario too, which also disappeared for a long time too. Raccoon Mario, we haven't seen Raccoon Mario in like forever either. I mean, we saw the Tanuki version of him in Mario 3D Land, but that one he couldn't fly. Here he can actually fly, which I think would make this. Yeah, this would make this the only power up in the entire series where you can actually fly. Well, there is one. Take that back. There is one where you can infinitely fly in the Wii U version, which I'll get to that one later on in the future. Because that one I actually have to play the game. This one I actually played. I played this one. But yeah, that was actually something. I haven't played it it's been a little minute since I played it. But not long like it has been with the the Wii one. The Wii one it's been a long time since I played that one. This one I at least, I played more, in the last few months, so that's why I don't feel like I need to, play it again. Actually make that the last month, because I think I've, beated the game again and all that. Yeah, so it's been at least about a month or two, so not super long, but, yeah, the Wii U one, I definitely have not played in ages. I watched people play it, but I have not played it, so I'll have to actually replay that again, but these games are very short, so, I mean, I probably could spread them out a little bit, but like I said, they're very short, and I kind of want to just get them all out of the way for you guys, and that way I can, because I'm probably going to move on to some other games, maybe take a break from Mario, but I figured, I'll review these games for you guys, just because, get them out of the way, because they're all kind of very similar in a way, well, the rest of them are, but compared to the DS one. Yeah, but I was gonna say too, the power-ups in this game though, yeah, I don't get the hate, like, they actually add the gold flower in this game. They actually add a gold ring too. There's a gold ring, and then there's a gold mushroom. I don't remember if the gold mushroom, I don't think the gold mushroom appears in this, I don't know if the gold mushroom actually appears in past games are not. But yeah, there's a gold mushroom which is only in the rush mode, because there's actually a rush mode in this game, which I'll talk about that in a second. But there's also the gold box, which actually that does appear in 3D Land first. I don't remember if it appeared before that, but you have a coin box on your head. Now this one actually disappears. The one in 3D Land does not. So it actually disappears. So yeah, it actually disappears. So so that's actually pretty interesting. Just to see it kind of. But apparently it'll disappear after 100 coins. I'm not sure how you get it, but somehow it spawns freaking nonstop. That's the thing with coins in this game. Coins are like everywhere. Because that is actually the main focus of this game. Because I haven't been talking about the main focus. Because honestly, the coins in this game, well, they don't really do a whole lot. I mean, you can get them. You can unlock something like a background and all that, which is very it sucks. Like, I hate that. Like, why did they do that? Like, why did they design it like that? Like, I figured they would do something more, original or something. I mean, a background would be nice. I mean, it's nice. I think like a gold Tanuki suit and a gold Mario in this game. Just gold Mario and gold Tanuki suit. Because you can get that, or sorry, Raccoon Mario, you can get that if you max out your coins. And it also changes the sky color. But I don't really like, though, that it, I don't really like, though, again, that, I kind of wish you could use it to buy stuff and all that. That would be kind of nice. Like, you could unlock characters with it. Because there were people talking about, now I don't know if this is true, but there were people saying that Wario possibly was going to be the villain in this game. I don't know if that was true or not, but that actually would have been very interesting. Or make him a playable character. That would have been really cool. If they made Wario a playable character, that would have been really cool. Instead of it just being Mario and Luigi. But again, we'd probably have the 4-player problem again too. Or not the 4-player thing and that would be harder, I think, to do on a DS. So maybe having 2 would be better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it's a problem, but I don't personally don't like playing, with 4 people because it can be kind of chaotic on screen to keep up with stuff, but it would have been kind of nice, or you can, like, unlock them if you were to, do all that. That would have been kind of nice, but instead you just get this. But the thing is, though, with these coins, too, is, I will say this, I really do like, there's actually a lot of ways to explore. You can explore the entire levels. I like seeing that. And also, I like being able to go through the levels and beat my high scores. So I'm a bit average on coins. I've heard some people like the coin gimmick, some people hate it. I'm a bit average. Like, I like the idea of it. It actually does freshen the game up a bit for me. I just wish they did more with the coins, instead of just a freaking statue, out of all things, it just kind of sucks, But again, like I said, I do like going through and exploring levels and beating my high scores, because I think that's fun. I like doing that, I like challenges like that, But if you're not a challenging person and just want to play a game and have fun, then you probably won't really get into that as much. And the thing is with the coins too is every 100 you get your every 100 depending on the game. Some like 3D Mario games, at least the older ones, I don't know, the newer ones, they kind of make it 100 now, but the older ones you would get like 60, and you get like a 1-up. Here, like, there's so many of them, like, I think they should have made it 1,000. Like, you need to get 1,000 to get a a 1-up or something instead of like 100. That would make more sense to me. Because that's the problem. They give you so many 1-ups. However, you can use them for achievements. Like, if you're gonna get golden stars on your profile, or like you gotta have to get 5 stars. That's actually one of the requirements. And the thing is too with the one-ups, yeah, I agree with people. It's impossible really to get a game over, but also I'm like, a lot of Mario games are like that. Like, I mean, it's not just this game. A lot of them anymore are like that. They like give out one-ups. So you're really not gonna have a problem with losing lives. Even the Wii game, like, I struggled on a few levels, even some that I really hated and weren't my fault, because some of them were like, again, motion control stuff. Here, they actually, they will, like I said, you will not run out of lives here either. But that's the problem too. Like, it kind of runs into the same problem the other games do, and that's the thing. Like I don't mind having I don't mind having one-ups in the games. I like that, but they don't feel as rewarding when you find them if you throw them at the players all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe make them, not as accessible or something, like that. I mean, coins, yeah, I'm fine with that, but when you're focusing on coins in a game, I figured you'd do a little bit more with that, but I don't know, but yeah, I think the coin gimmick is alright, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it doesn't really ruin the game or anything. Like, that's something I will defend. It definitely does not ruin the game. Yeah, you get more one-ups, but I guess I can ruin it in the one-up case with that. Because I think I finished a game with, over 200 lives. And a lot of it was probably collecting coins by accident or something, but again, but again, so many Mario games are like that. I just find it ironic too. Yeah, I said 200 one-ups too. Yeah, this is one of those games too where you get crown lives. And that's the thing. You can get over 1,000 lives, so that's kind of weird. So I guess they don't really make them. They don't make the one-ups as worthless, but also the shiny stars. I was gonna say that too. You can actually in this game, unlike the Wii one, if you actually die, I talked about the invincible Tanuki suit, or sorry, raccoon suit. It's different than the Tanuki suit, raccoon. If you have the raccoon suit and you try to avoid or if you actually, I don't remember if you have to avoid it or not, but I think you can avoid it and then you don't worry about the power-ups. But apparently, it'll actually. This is the game, one of the games where, if you die, even if you beat the level, you can go back and actually kill yourself and still get the thing, which is kind of weird. But I think you can actually still get the shiny stars, which I'm surprised about. You could say it ruins the challenge, but actually, I don't know. I kind of like it this way. I hated that in the Wii one. I hated that, because it feels like you're being punished. And I mean, there's 77 stages, and a lot of them you gotta replay for secret exits and all that. I mean, it's not a super long game, but still. I mean, speaking of levels, I'm actually this game actually also has the most levels in it. Not even counting the DLC levels. Actually, no, wait, I think counting the DLC levels, there's actually more levels in this game than there is anywhere, in the entire series, which is very weird too. Because this is the first, I think, Mario game to actually to have DLC in it too. So, yeah, there's that. So yeah, there's a lot of things, like I said, in this game that, and I'll talk about the DLC levels in a second. Okay, I talked about the coins not giving you much of anything. I was gonna talk about the music too. Now this is something that I can definitely agree with people. This game definitely has a weaker soundtrack than the first two games. And one big problem with this game is it rips off so many tracks from the Wii game. It does. It rips off so many tracks from the Wii game. There are some original tracks, but most of them are from the Wii one, or they're Or like, they're remixes of tracks from the past. Like Reznor fights. Those are remixes of tracks from the past. Which, I mean, I guess to be fair, like the Underground theme and all that, for example, does that too. But yeah, I really hate that. Like, I really hate that, like, most of the tracks in this game are just, like, rip-offs of the Wii. Now, the Wii did do a little bit of that with the DS, with the overworld theme and athletic theme. But a lot of the other tracks were, either similar or they were, like, so different you couldn't even tell they're different. A lot of these remixes, you can tell that they're, the same tracks and all that. And, the athletic theme, I don't know, when I was in the past, I didn't really care for it a lot, but when I listen to it more, it actually doesn't sound too bad. On the remix, it's definitely the weakest one. It's okay. Like, I don't completely hate the athletic theme, but it definitely ain't as good as the DS and the Wii one. I think the Blaz kind of take it away a little bit, and I'm not trying to sound generous, because I actually, like I said, I think the tracks, I think it doesn't sound that bad. I just don't think it sounds as catchy as the other ones. But I do like it has kind of a heavenly vibe to it. I do like that. Also, like the rainbow levels. So you get rainbow levels in this game, and you can hear the remix of it, to like that. Yeah, rainbow levels are also in the game, and I gotta say, yeah, they're actually really good. A lot of people complain that they're easy, but I'm like, I mean, yeah, they're easy. They're freaking bonus levels, and again, this is another thing they've done in the past too. They've done this stuff in the past too. They've yeah, I mean, maybe they can make the coins a little bit more challenging. Like a little bit maybe. But I mean, it's just about how many coins you can get in the air and all that. And sometimes you can actually unlock, like, a gold flower or something in there too. But I really like the backgrounds and all that, in the rainbow levels. They're really fun. It really are. But yeah, I do really like them. But yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, I mean, with the game being, like, having some easy stuff, yeah, some stuff I can defend, but I will say the rainbow levels, I don't think they're really supposed to be hard. They're just like bonus things, just for fun, And I mean, if you're gonna complain about that, you might as well complain about the cannon levels too, because I mean, well, the cannon levels and the other games really weren't much either, but I'm just like, there wasn't really much to them either. You just enter them and shoot off to the next world. Which kind of brings me back to the music, by the way. So speaking of cannon levels, apparently, now I could make a little short about this too, but I think I'll go ahead and just point it out here as well. Or not a short, like a separate video talking about this, but for some reason in the cannon levels, only in the special worlds, you actually get a remix of the overworld theme. Like it's a different overworld theme. And, I don't know why it's like that. It's the same thing with when you get the rainbow levels too. They have like a special remix thing of it, which is very weird. Like, I don't know why they didn't put it in the rest of the levels. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird having all that. But yeah, they have all that. And another thing too, it's weird. And speaking of overworld themes, the Snow World theme, by the way, uses the exact same, like, theme from the Wii one, too. They don't even bother remixing it. I don't know if they forgot to remix it. I don't know. I was looking for unused, tracks or something like that, and I could not find anything. So, I don't know. Maybe they were going to do that. I don't know, and didn't think about it. I'm not sure. Because I've heard stories, too, that they, I haven't brought this up, but I heard people saying they've had stories where people have had to, like, that there were people working on both games, so they were trying to make sure they didn't mix some stuff up, which may be where one of the things in the Wii U game comes in, because this game is more supposed to be focusing on New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Or not, sorry, not New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I mean Super Mario 3 with the raccoon tails and all that, and then, the Koopalings, I think that's kind of the point there and all that, and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's like some other stuff too in the game. They even have some, I guess they have some DLC levels too with that too. So they have a little bit of that. But the fact is, again, that we're seeing, we have a little bit of nods there and all that, to that game. And then they have like the Resnords in there. It seems kind of like the Resnords feel like they're out of place, like they were supposed to be in the next game. Because I will say the next game will be a more of Super Mario World references. So that will be that. But it is kind of weird that they have that in this game. Just kind of weird, but it is still kind of nice to see it. But yeah, they even have the music blocks in this game. You say they have the music blocks in this game. You say they have a lot of like things from this game that they have, in the other games, which is kind of weird. Even the canon levels, which I will say the canon levels. That's one of the things I want to point out. The canon levels are actually actual levels in this game, and instead of apparently shooting you off to the sky, I guess they freaking shoot you Sonic speed. Looks like Sonic may not be the only one who's apparently fast, because they'll freaking shoot you, and you're like on a freaking running on a marathon or something like that. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's kind of it's kind of weird. I guess maybe Mario and Dorothy instead of like trying to win a marathon by eating drugs and all that, maybe he should have just like freaking took the cannon instead. I don't know. I don't know if you guys. I know that's probably you guys probably don't get that reference, but that's actually they did something like that in Dorkly too, with Mario trying to run like a freaking marathon or something. I forgot what he was doing, but he was trying to he was smoking or like and all that, like drugs and all that, trying to freaking get to the end. And I don't know, it was pretty funny and kind of random, but yeah, you probably could have taken this and got there way faster, but I don't know. But yeah, these canon levels though are really hard, very hard, and yeah, they are actually where I've died the most. Now you can use a raccoon Mario and actually fly over it. But sometimes there's been times where I've actually gotten hit, trying to fly over it. I try to fly over the cannons, and sometimes the cannon levels, and I get hit and all that. And there's also a thing where apparently you cannot use the power-ups from the bottom there. So they won't let you use I don't know why that's the case, but they won't let you use the power-ups on the bottom screen. So that is very weird. And I don't think the gold Tanuki suit, sorry, not Tanuki suit, it's raccoon. I keep calling it Tanuki suit. The raccoon suit does not appear in this game. I mean, in that level, those levels. Apparently they're not in the levels, but they're everywhere else. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, they are pretty hard. I mean, they're really hard to play and all that. But yeah, they do have the Mario Bros. 3 background, I think, too. I think that's in there. And they actually play the music from the DS, which is something I kind of wish more of the game kind of had. I wish it kind of went back and forth with the tracks from the DS compared to the Wii, kind of go back and forth instead of just ripping off the entire, or like mostly the Wii tracks, I mean, there are some tracks that don't appear in this game, like the world, the rock world, because they had the rock world, and then we have the jungle world in this game. They do not play in there because and all that which I actually want to talk about that in a second, because I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to kind of not have much to talk about. But I was gonna say about the music real quick, because I was going to wrap this up, but I wanted to point this out. This is something the coin gimmick does do that I like. It'll make remixes of the themes, which kind of makes me again wish they had the DS tracks in there too. Or heck, you could probably use the freaking coins and buy some of the tracks, and and then you can use them in the actual levels if you want to. They would be nice to have like little tracks there. But apparently, yeah, they'll do a little bit of a remix, and I really do like that. It actually it changes the level up a bit, and it actually gives us, it turns all the enemies gold, which is something I didn't point out in the game. There actually is not a ton of different enemy species in this game. They were kind of really slacking here, which is kind of one of the major complaints I have and other people have. Like, I kind of wish there was actually, more original enemies in this game. I mean, there's some, like, for some reason, there's freaking, bone piranha plants, which, I'm like, I didn't know the piranha plants had bones, but apparently they do. I guess they have weak bones, because when you freaking jump on them, they get squished. So I guess they have some very fragile bones. I don't know, they're kind of weird. I guess maybe they were never alive and they were just made or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird. There's also freaking Goombas, there's actually blue versions in this game, and then there's ones that apparently that are blue and wear these skeleton armors for some reason. I'm not sure why. So they have like blue ones, which by the way were in the original game. But they actually did appear in like Super Paper Mario. They were called Gloombas in that game. They were called Gloombas. Get it? Because Goomba and Blue, apparently Gloombas. Yeah, I don't really get like I didn't know they were separate enemies until I played that game, and then I saw them in here, and yeah, they are kind of interesting. But yeah, there really isn't a ton of new enemies. But like I said, there are some, and even one of the levels you're being chased by this freaking ginormous, freaking scary looking Boo. So I mean, there are some, but like I said, there are a ton of different enemies. I don't remember if I think the Wii U one had some new enemies too, but yeah, I don't know. But this one, I kind of wish they had a little bit more, or heck, they could have brought back some of the enemies from the DS one. I mean, I guess they did bring back some. They brought back the Scuttlebugs, but the freaking Snailcorns, they're gone. To never be seen again. I guess Bowser must have fired them or something. I mean, he could have kept them. I guess he couldn't afford them, even though he probably has their freaking coins all over the damn place. He probably could have gave him, some money and all that to get him by or something. I don't know. He could have done something to keep the freaking Snailcorns there. But the Snailcorns aren't there. They don't have them there. And then there was I kind of wish we had Dory back, and I don't know, it was kind of fun to have all that, or even the eels, because I don't think the eels even appear in this game, too. And we don't even have the little spiky bass, fish guy in there, either. Or those, weird water spider guys. That's the thing, too, I feel like they could have brought back some of those enemies, as well, because that's the thing, too, with the worlds. Some of them, like the snow world, they don't really have a lot of, snowy enemies. They have piranha plants. I guess, to be fair, the DS one did that a little bit, too. But, yeah, it would have been nice to kind of see more, more of that, too, but, I don't know. I guess, to be fair, though, now I look about it, I don't remember, did the DS one have a lot of that? Because the DS1 had, again, the Snailcorns, but did the Snow World have a lot of other enemies? I can't remember. I think they got fuzzies in that world, but I don't know. I didn't know if they had anything else. I can't remember. I mean, that game, though, also had some levels that didn't have any enemies in it at all, which still shocks me to this day. But, I don't know. But, yeah, I really do wish this game had a bit more original enemies. But it has some. Again, it has that giant Boo. But not any, new enemy. Just, more so reskin stuff. I forgot, too, there's also apparently a small version of, they introduced a small version of the Porky Puff Fish, or whatever the heck it is. I forget what they call the enemy. Because we had the little ones and the big ones and the Wii version, and then Now we got the little ones here, which can be taken out by fireballs. I can't remember if you could take out the medium ones too, but I don't know. I cannot remember there, but yeah, but I don't know, it would have been kind of nice again to have some more, enemies. And they also have, I guess because they don't have the money bag and enemy in this game either. They replaced it with a different enemy, which I don't know why they did that. But it also appeared in 3D Land, so it's not an original enemy, So I don't know. But yeah, it definitely seems like they're lacking a bunch of enemies in this game, but but again, they do still have a bunch of them, and like I said, they did introduce some more, but definitely not my favorite there. I'm trying to think what else we got here. Oh yeah, this is the last thing on the bad stuff. Apparently, this game too, you can only play Luigi. You can only play with Luigi. If you beat the game too, you have to actually beat the game to play with him. Where the DS one, you can play with him right off the bat. I guess that's better than New Super Mario Bros. Wii. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you're actually forced to play as Mario. I think because a lot of people probably know that people probably wouldn't choose Mario because Mario is not I'll say I kind of like Mario. But I kind of wished he had a little bit some more traits with him, because a lot of games. I guess to be fair, these games they kind of play the same, but I don't know. Mario, has Mario doesn't really have a lot of traits in some of these games where they give the characters other moves. I kind of wish they give him more abilities that they all can kind of have different ones, to make him stand out more. But I don't know. But yeah, but in this game though, it's basically the same thing, and that's even like that with the Wii one too, So even the DS one. So I don't really see why they do all this. But yeah, I figured I'd bring that up because it's kind of weird. Now you can actually unlock him before that, but yeah, I don't know. It is kind of. You can unlock him by beating a few levels, so you don't have to beat the whole entire game to unlock him. Which I forgot to actually check to see if the freaking the mushroom houses stay open afterwards, or you have to get all the star coins. Because that was so stupid in the Wii one. Like, why did they even do that? Like, because at that point, it was pretty much pointless to even really have that. Because at that point, like, I don't know why they couldn't then just like have you beat Bowser and then like do that. I don't understand that. That felt very pointless, but but I don't know. But yeah, I'll say the Toad house is in this game too. I'll say this. I like the 1-up one. The 1-up one's pretty nice. Where you use a freaking punching glove and then get that. The 1-up one and or not the power up one though is basically. There's no mini game into it. You just go inside and pick one. Like, I kind of wish they had a freaking mini game with it, There's, like, no mini game. However, I do like that this game actually, makes you actually go to the houses to actually get, like, a mini mushroom and all that again. So there's that. But it's almost just as bad as the DS one, though, because the DS one, yeah, I guess they had like a little random box thing there, but at least you could get a power up out of it, and it was a challenge. Here, there's like nothing. There's no challenge to it. You just go in there and get a power up and get out. I don't understand why they did that, but I don't know. It's just kind of stupid, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this game, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna talk about some of the good stuff because I talked a little bit about some, but I want to talk about a little bit more before I let the video go. I talked about the worlds a little bit because there are some special worlds in this game. Now this is nothing new. We've seen special worlds before this. Even Mario Galaxy 2 had a special world. So this is nothing really new, but this is actually the first one, I believe, to have a special world in that's themed after power-ups. So there's actually a world flower and a world mushroom and a world star. Yeah, the World 9 ain't called World 9 in this game. It's called World Star in this game. World Star. Which is kind of weird. And I gotta say, I actually do like the worlds. Well, except World Star kind of, I don't like how it's just a straight path to the end. But I do kind of like that they actually do that. Because, you know, it's kind of nice and all that. And also, I'm gonna say this too with the worlds. If you guys are, like, here's the thing with the worlds in these games. I told you guys that there is no rock world in Jungle World. Well, I guess the cloud world does have some rock mountains in it, like underneath the clouds. But there's like, I think like there's like one rock level, and that's it. And actually, apparently, I'm watching people do challenges. Apparently, there ain't a lot of grass levels either. I'm like, you guys have a whole World 1 and there's not a lot of grass levels? That's actually kind of shocking. But I guess in this game, there are a lot more athletic levels, I've noticed too. So maybe that's kind of the thing too. I just never really noticed that. But I noticed the rock world. Yeah, the rock world's pretty much gone. There's like one level, and then like, glimpses of it in the cloud world in World 5. That's it. And the jungle world is just mashed up with the water world, which I will say, I do like some of the things they do with it, especially bringing back the cheap, the cheap skipper or whatever it is that tries to like, or not, that's the boss from I think the DS one. This is the spiky one that like tries to go out and attack you, which I kind of wish they brought back the other one too. Maybe they could have two of them in the level. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, avoid two of them. But what's weird about this one is they actually have it in the actual they have it in the actual what was it the freaking poison water. Like, that's so random and weird. I never would have thought of that. And like the fact they put it in there is so weird. It is just freaking weird and all that. And I don't know why they did that, but I mean I kind of like it. It's something a little bit different in the worlds and all that too. And yeah, but that's the thing, like, because they did that, that means the jungle world is gone. There's no theme to it. There's no, the music there is gone. So is the rock world. So again, not all the tracks in the DS or the Wii one are there. You know, but yeah, most of them are, like, most of the tracks are there. But some of them are remixes too. Yeah, each world, like Special World, does have its own music theme too, you know, so there's that. So like I said, there are some original tracks, but not a lot of them. And another thing I'm going to say too about this game that I actually really like is the backgrounds. This is the game where they start actually experimenting with the backgrounds. Yeah, they start actually experimenting with the backgrounds and start changing them up. I've been noticing. Before that, they did it a little bit, but for the most part, the backgrounds were kind of the same. Here, they kind of start changing them up. Even in World 5, or sorry, I keep forgetting World 4 is World 4 is the ice world. There's like a ton of different backgrounds. Some they actually have a Mario World background where they show off the ice, which I've seen that background. It's pretty cool. Where it's just like a freaking big diagonal looking ice wall in the background. Sometimes it's trees. It's actually really cool seeing, you know, different backgrounds and all that. And they've done this a little bit at other levels too, like in like Special World, you know, 1. Or not Special World, not Special World. I mean Special World, you know, Special World, you know, Mushroom or Mushroom 1 and Flower 1. Mushroom, Flower and Star actually do have a couple unique levels in the first level. Like the Mushroom one's probably the weakest one, but it takes place in the sky, and you can actually see like apparently platforms in the background. But then there's also then they also kind of do this, you know, with the whole, you know, like in, like, one level takes place in sunset, in the flower world. The other takes place at night, and it feels like they were actually experimenting with the backgrounds, which I like. It makes the levels feel more unique. Of course, though, the levels can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming at times. I mean, the Star World is actually supposed to be more difficult, but I don't know, the level itself was not, the world itself was not that difficult compared to the Wii one. But the thing is, though, is I will say, too, this is something a lot of people also do not, this is something I don't agree with, but people say the game's level design is very lackluster. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to. It sounds kind of rude the way I said that. I just don't agree. I just don't agree with people that. I think this game does a lot of really good things with the level design. Like, for example, there's actually in world, the water world. There's actually a level where you have to you play the entire level as Mini Mario, and they give you 2 different pathways, and you can choose one or the other. And, apparently, well, I don't know why this is, but apparently, only one path is star coins. I don't know why they did that. But it's actually very difficult. The difficulty in this game, I don't know, I would say it's probably up there with Wii. I think it's not as difficult as the DS one. But I don't think it's as easy as people say it is, because I've died on levels a lot. A lot of other players have too. I'm not, a lot of people have died on these levels. So yeah, I'm not the only one, that's had that happen. But so I mean, I don't think it's super easy. Now, I do think it's easier than the DS one. Definitely easier than the DS, game. But I don't think it's as, I don't think it's easy either. But I think it's kind of just average, like, I think depending on the levels. But this one and the canon levels are freaking hard. This one's not super hard, but there are times where I've died a few times in this level. Because, and all that. And you can use the freaking, the Invincible Tanuki suit in here, but good luck, getting all the star coins, because it's a freaking auto-scroller. So, I mean, you could probably fly, because you can run on water, but again, that'd be kind of it's still more difficult when the screen's moving really fast. But I do really like they do that. And then there's another level where you have to outrun a ginormous Boo. Like I told you guys, the ginormous Boo, which is one of the new enemies in the game, the very few. This one you meet him a couple times. You have to outrun this freaking ginormous Boo trying to chase you. He's not a super big threat. But the thing is, though, is he can make things a little bit more difficult to get star coins, because, the thing is, though, with him chasing you and all that, like, sometimes you can miss coins. I mean, he won't chase you a lot, and even if you look behind him, he'll try to walk up towards you, but eventually he will stop. I found that out, apparently he will not continue, but he can still, if you're looking away from him, he'll do that. So it can make getting star coins and finding the exits a little bit more difficult. And that's kind of, again, how other levels are. Like, I'll say in this game, I really like the ghost houses compared to the Wii one. The DS one, I don't know, I don't remember the DS one didn't have the most amazing ghost houses either. I think this one has, I mean, it had some good ghost houses, don't get me wrong. Like, World 7 had a very good ghost house. But I don't remember them being, like, as memorable. I guess the one in World 5 was pretty good, too. Actually, was there even, I don't think there was a lot of ghost houses in that world I can remember. No, there was a few, yeah, because it introduced a few different ghost types, which I liked. This one actually introduces a lot of different concepts. There's also one where you have to, like, hit a bunch of switches. This one's actually hard. I always get stuck on this one because I gotta hit a bunch of switches and figure out my way out. Now, you don't have to worry about the time. The timer never seems to matter on these games anyway. But it's still a freaking pain to get out of there. And even the one in World 6, they actually have you having to, like, You have to like pick the right door, which I mean, yeah, they do that in the other games too. But this one's more of a maze because the other ones are more fake doors. These are real doors, but you have to find your way out, you know, and go the right way. But it's a little hard to explain, but it's really fun. And there's other levels too. There's other levels that are like this too that are fun. The final Bowser level, it's fun, you know, because you have to like dodge the Koopalings and all that. Even the special world, the boss fight kind of lacked a bit. Like I mean, they made it a little bit harder, but it was not really that interesting. The level itself, though, is freaking really hard and actually really unique because they made it harder by instead of you having to dodge him halfway, the Koopalings halfway, you have to dodge him the entire level in that one. Which makes you want to know why they didn't make the entire world star more interesting like that. Because only a couple levels were really, you know, unique in that world. You know, but that's the thing, though. Those are just examples. Also, I guess technically, even World 1 had a pipe level where you have a huge. It's a freaking huge level, and you gotta go. It takes place outside, like one of the few levels apparently that has grass in it, I guess. But you have to like outrun. You have to outrun these, you know, or not outrun. You gotta like, you know, run from her and all that, and like find your way out of the level. And there's actually a really hidden star coin in it, and you got to figure out your way out of it. Actually, this game in general has a lot of very hidden star coins. I've actually have had they feel like they've hid them a bit more in this game. There's no secret walls, but they do have a lot of hidden coins in this game. You know, star coins in this game. And apparently, I guess World Star has moon coins for some reason. I don't know why they have moon coins, but they do. They don't really add anything, but I guess they're called moon coins. Which I mean, I like, but I don't know why they couldn't have. Maybe all the special worlds could have that. I don't know why just World Star had to. I guess because maybe it's a star. I don't know. It's very weird. You know, I don't know, but that's the thing though. For the most part, yeah, that's the thing. For the most part, yeah, the levels are actually very good. Like, I don't think people give this game enough credit with the levels. Like, I don't think they give it enough credit for the levels. The levels are very good. Difficulty-wise, like I said, I don't think it's super duper difficult, but there are some levels that are very difficult. And also the DLC. Yeah, I talked about the rainbow levels. I talked about everything except for the DLC. I brought the DLC levels up, but I haven't really talked about them much. And the DLC levels in this game, yeah, this game had DLC levels. I know the shop technically is closed on the 3DS and the Wii U, but you can still actually access these DLC levels if you mod the game, or if you get, apparently it's a specific version, I guess. I don't know much about this, but apparently people have said this. Even Nathaniel Banny brought it up. I wanted to ask him in one of his streams, but you know, he's got so many viewers, I can't really ask him, but I could ask him on Twitch, I guess, but I haven't really seen him stream a lot lately, so, yeah, basically though, yeah, there's a gold edition of this game apparently, and it comes with the DLC. I don't know like how to get this gold edition. People were saying to have the game downloaded. I have a 2DS that has the game already on it. Now, I guess to be fair, the shops did close when I got it. You know, I already had the 2DS. I mean, I got the 2DS when the shops closed, but the DLC should still be on there. So I'm guessing that's not it. But I've seen there is a gold edition, you know, version. But that could be too. There is a gold case version with an actual gold case on it, which that looks so cool. I really want to get that and add it to my collection. I like the white look too in the gold. It looks really good. But I don't know. I kind of like the gold one as well. I don't know. I haven't really decided on that, but that still would be really, you know, really interesting. But these levels, though, some of them are they're not the most interesting. Well, actually, some of them are. Some of them are not. Like, it does have the impossible pack in it, which I don't really care about much. Like, they make it like super difficult, and I mean, you could probably beat it with lots of practice, but I don't have the patience to freaking play that level and all that. But it also has callbacks to older levels and all that, and it even includes some levels with a couple Mega Mushrooms in it, which are actually in boxes. Yeah, they have them in power-up boxes, the mystery boxes, instead of those canon levels, which is very interesting. I wonder why they put them in there. That's kind of weird. But there's like a lot of DLC levels in there, and that's the thing. There's like so many levels in this game. It's very crazy and all that, but yeah, DLC levels do add some stuff to the game. They definitely are interesting for the most part. But like I said, with the shops closing, the only way to access them, is to mod your system or to get that, and all that. But I'm thinking about, doing all that. I haven't decided yet. Getting the gold edition and all that. I do have the levels because I downloaded them a while back, but yeah, they are fun. They are definitely fun. Definitely something different. But like I said, some of them are a little bit not as great. My biggest problem though with them is they're like under a minute. I mean, you can get some timers and explore a level a bit more, which helps. But some of them you don't get a ton of timers, so you can't really have fun with the levels. But but I don't know. But they do have like a rush mode too, and all, like I said, which is just redoing the same levels again, which is part of New Super Mario Bros. Wii thing I didn't talk about because I forgot to bring that up. But honestly, you need 2 players to play those levels anyway. I don't have another controller to play that, so I can't play it. I've heard, though, they're not very good anyway, so, yeah, but I would have brought them up in the review, but I don't have another remote right now, so I can't play it. But yeah, that's the thing with this game. There are things I like about this game and things I don't. And I think that's about really all I have to say, though. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yep, that's about it. So I guess I'll go ahead and give this a score. Now, I guess this video ended up taking a long time, but like I said, there's a lot to talk about, so it makes sense. But anywho, though, let me go ahead and give you guys a score for this. But first, before we do that, let's give it a meh. Yeah, I'm gonna rate this episode a meh. Or not episode, sorry, not episode game. I'm thinking of episodes. So I've been doing episodes in movies. No, this is a game. But yeah, I'm gonna rate this meh. Yeah, because I think this game has this game I don't think it deserves a bad, I don't think it deserves hate like other people. But I definitely see some problems with it. It's very mixed. That's why I'm gonna give it a meh as a score instead of a good or a bad. And then, speaking of scoring, let's go ahead and give it a score now. Yep, 54 points. Like I said, this one is very mixed in my opinion. This game does a lot of things I like about it and a lot of things I don't like about it. I really do like that they have used coins in the game. Because up to this point, I don't think they really used coins a whole lot. They used it a bit in Mario Galaxy 2 and all that, and before that they used it for 100 coins and all that. But they weren't really used a whole lot in the games. They were kind of just there for extra lives and all that. Here it's they're all over the place, and you can get them. You can use it to get scores and all that. But that's the thing though. There's not really a lot you can do with it besides that. I mean, you can get a statue, but I kind of wish you could use it to buy stuff and all that. Which makes the coin gimmick it's fun. It makes the game feel more unique. but it's also not as, memorable as the other stuff. And even the bosses really aren't that great in this game. Besides a few of them, I'm happy the Reznor return, but also a lot of them are easy. Too easy. I don't mind games being easy, but some of the bosses are too easy. The game itself, as difficulty-wise, it's actually not that bad. The bosses, yeah, they're very easy, but but the game itself, there are a lot of easy levels, but I think a lot of them are very difficult. Some of them can be difficult. I actually probably should have, now that I think about it, put, marked down difficulty-wise on this game to kind of see where it was at. Because on levels. But I don't know, but the thing is, though, when I watch Let's Players, too, people say this game is easy, but I watch people play New Super Mario Bros. Wii all the time, and I don't see a lot of people. Some people die on some levels there too, but I don't see a lot of people dying there. Now, I've died on some of the levels too, but even I was able to get past quite a bit of levels. There were some I got stuck on. That's kind of how I feel about this game, it's not like a joke. Like I said, some of the levels are difficult, like the final castle is difficult. The pipe level can be difficult, where you gotta be Mini Mario and, not the world one, what I meant, the Mini Mario one, you gotta go through the pipes. I think that one's difficult. The cannon levels are difficult. Even the Impossible Pack, it's technically difficult, but, and I think some of the ghost houses can be a little bit difficult too. But yeah, I don't think it's, super duper, difficult. But again, I don't mind it. I think it's an average difficult, because I like a break, in between and all. But I definitely don't think it's fair to kind of criticize this game, for being too easy when a lot of other Mario games are also the same way. But that's just my opinion. I don't want to, trash on people's, opinions. People are right to have their own. It's just, their opinion. But also, another thing is with this game, too, is, the level design, this is the thing I definitely disagree with. I think this game has a very good level design. Not as good as the DS one. The DS one had I think it had, the best, the level designs so far of the three. And maybe even more, four, because we got New Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U to still review. But so far, yeah, the DS one definitely has the best. It has the best out of all of them. This one definitely has a lot of great levels too. They definitely do some different stuff with it. And, I don't want to clarify, too, I want to point this out, that, just because a level is, not unique doesn't mean it can't be good, but uniqueness, this one was I definitely scored this one high when I wrote it down. I don't have the paper, but I figured I would point it out when I talk about the final game in the series, which, I guess I could talk about Luigi U as well, but I was thinking about talking about it in New Super Mario Bros. U, but I did talk about it in the Wii one too, but I don't know. But yeah, so far, like I said, this one's got a lot of unique levels in it. But yeah, the soundtrack definitely is not the greatest in this game. It's just a rip-off of the Wii, which, the Wii had a very good soundtrack, but I kind of wanted to have maybe some DS tracks or maybe some more original ones. They do have some remixes in the game, But again, I kind of wanted some more original stuff, But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing. There's a lot of things I like about the game and a lot of things I hate about it, And it kind of that's why it's meh, and that's why I said it's basically getting that's why it's getting 54 points. I could have probably gave it 60, but I think that the soundtrack really does take it down a bit. Actually, I think if the soundtrack was actually better, I think probably would have actually boosted it up probably to a good. But again, the soundtrack being, a rip-off kind of doesn't really help. But again, the boss fights too are not as, they kind of lag too. But like I said, it's definitely not that bad. I definitely think people are over hating it a bit. I think I think it definitely deserves to get praised a bit more, but I can see where some people are coming from with some stuff, Even the coin gimmick, like I said, I wish they did more with it, instead of just, you could buy stuff and all that, instead of just doing this, where you just get a new title screen. But otherwise, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad of a game. Like I think it's definitely so far the weakest one when it comes to content. I don't know if I would say if it's worse than New Super Mario Brothers Wii though, because that's the thing, that game was also very good, but that game also had a problem with the controls. I did not like having to use motion controls, because as somebody who, I like bouncing on my ball, that's what I do. I can't really do that when I'm playing, that, and even then, like, sometimes if I would sit on the couch, sometimes, like, I would, go to scratch my hair or something, because sometimes I got an itch, because sometimes people get itches, it's, like I would accidentally cause Mario to twirl in the air, which, by the way, is not in this game for some reason. I forgot to bring that up, but yeah, it's not in this game. I'm assuming they didn't put it in here because they wanted it to control more like the DS one. But also, trying to twirl their 3DS could probably be not very good. They could probably break it. Maybe that's why they didn't put it in the game. With like motion controls and all, because some of the games do use motion controls. Because that Luigi's Mansion game I'll be talking about does use motion control games, but this game, this game doesn't have a twirl at all in it. But I don't think it really needs it. I will say sometimes the controls can be a little bit wonky at times too for falling off the cliff. I've actually died a few times because of the. Sometimes Mario will go flying everywhere, but also I use other controls too, like, because basically you can actually play this game like the Wii one. You can play this two different ways. You can play it like the DS one or the 3DS way with the joystick. But my joystick is broke because of another game I'll be reviewing down the road and kind of talking about that. I got a lot of 3DSs that are freaking broke because of that, but yeah, that game I'll talk about later too. Yeah, but that's probably why, because I'm using the cross pad to play it instead of the joysticks, like, end up flying all over the place. Because it's a little bit harder to kind of to use it that way, but I don't know. It could be the other way too. That's what I was going to do. I was actually going to test it before I did my review, but I wasn't thinking there. But, I don't know. But that's the thing, though. Like I said, even when that happens, it's most of the time I'm able to get it, controlled right. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. There's not really much else. But, but that's the thing. It's a very long review, but I did actually have a lot to say. Like I was afraid I was going to, so the video will be once again long. But hopefully the thumbnail will not suck as bad. But sometimes I have no choice because YouTube also makes making thumbnails a lot harder, because for some reason they freaking zoom in the damn thumbnail when I make a thumbnail. I don't know why they do that, but they do. It's really annoying. But there's nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. But I forgot to, before I let the video go, I was gonna show you guys the paper too. Because I forgot to do that. Here we go, though. This is what I was talking about. But see, that's where I got all my notes. I can't remember why I was showing this off, but I was doing it for something. Because I haven't had time to re-watch my video lately. You see, my writing's not the greatest, but I made a huge mistake writing with pen, though. I should have not did that, because I kind of made writing a little bit messy over here, though. But I also been stressed out, so writing's kind of hard. But yeah, that's basically all there is to that. But I don't remember why I was showing that off, but I was going to show it off for some reason. I don't remember why, but there it is. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this stuff. But yeah, this was definitely a very fun review. But again, sorry it took so long, to review. But there was just a lot to cover. But if some of you guys don't like don't like this game, that's fine. I just think it's overhated. I definitely think I definitely think it has lots of problems with it, but it still has a lot of things I like about the game to make it worth going back to. But I'll see you guys in the next, game review when I do New Super Mario Bros. U. Anywho, bye-bye.